Astrocartography is a form of locational astrology. It basically takes your chart and lays it over a map and shows you where each planet gets its maximum angularity. In a horoscope, the most active planets are the ones that are on or near the angles. So the AC, IC, DC, and MC. The first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house. The first house deals with your personality. The fourth house deals with your home and your emotional life. The DC, or the seventh house, deals with the relationships, romance, how other people treat you in your life. The MC is your career and your public image and your reputation. Astrocartography is based on all of these angles, and depending on where you are in the world, you're activating these areas of your life. This is why when you go on a vacation, when you move or go someplace different, you feel different because the energy has shifted completely. And it's activating another area in your life, another area that is a new story for you, a new story that is unfolding. And the longer that you stay there, the longer the story progresses and you're starting a new video game. Astrocartography is a form of locational astrology, and it can be extremely beneficial, and it literally affects every aspect of your life, depending on where you are in the world. It's important to know your astrocartography chart and what type of planetary energies are interacting with you, because it can completely change your entire life and help you go where you're meant to go. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ariana Grande and Billie Eilish and their astrocartography and how they basically used it without probably knowing it to jumpstart their careers and become famous and well known. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about their careers and how they jumpstarted their careers and what planetary energies were around them and surrounding them at the time of their career activation and how it basically all happened for them, depending on their astrocartography and where they were in the world. So if you're up for that, let's get into it. This is part 2 of the video series that I'm doing about astrocartography. If you're coming from video 1, hello. If you're new, hello. Go watch the other video because you'll understand it a lot more. And if you don't care and you're just here for the ride and you stumbled upon this, hello again, and let's get into it. Billie Eilish. So her career and her success is absolutely phenomenal. So first of all, Billie Eilish was born on her Venus MC line. I spoke about this in my other video, but Venus MC line is completely auspicious for your career. The MC, basically translates to the 10th house or your midheaven. The 10th house is all about your career, your public image, and your reputation. So if you are living on a Venus MC line in the world, that means that this area of your life is being blessed by Venus. Your career, your money, your reputation, your appearance, and everything that sort of falls underneath that is being activated and sort of blessed by the planet Venus. Venus rules over finances, wealth, money, beauty, all things that fall underneath that sort of type of window. And she was basically born on this line. And she didn't really leave. She never really had a chance to. Let's get into it. Billie Eilish was homeschooled and she graduated high school at the age of 15. At the same time, she recorded her video Ocean Eyes at 13. So she recorded that video that broke the internet at 13. And then she was 14, I believe, when they released it or something, but she was within the ages of 13 to 15 when she literally came into fame, right? She basically couldn't even drive yet, but her career was literally so blessed that it just happened. It unfolded before her eyes. So she releases Ocean Eyes at 15. She recorded it at 13. And then flash forward 2024, she now has 9 Grammys, has traveled over the entire world, has multiple brand deals, sponsorships, partnerships, has a fragrance line, multiple collabs, has met many powerful people, has a signature trademark, all before the honest age of 25. How did she do this? How the hell was this possible? And how can you do this for yourself? Let's get into it. So before I read her astrocartography, I am going to tell you about her natal chart because we always have to consider the natal chart before we read someone's astrocartography because it both works together. It's basically the only way to read an astrocartography chart accurately. So to start off, Billie Eilish has her Jupiter in her 4th house, and she has her Mars trining her Jupiter. And her Jupiter is also in Cancer. This is very important. So Jupiter in the 4th house in Cancer is literally Jupiter it's exalted. It's basically home when Jupiter is in Cancer in the 4th house. So typically the moon is very comfortable in the 4th house. The moon is very comfortable in Cancer. But when Jupiter is in Cancer and when Jupiter is in the 4th house, it's more than happy. And it's definitely benefic. There's no malefics at all when it comes to that. So with Jupiter in the 4th house, this means her family, her home life, and basically her mental health and her psyche is more than okay. And not only that, but it actually blesses her in a way. She's just very lucky in the environment of her home, in the environment of her family. Those things are like good luck charms for her. Those things actually reward her profoundly. And she has Jupiter conjunct Mars. This is one of the best conjunctions you could have in your entire chart, honestly. One of them. Because a conjunction is a blend of energies. It's basically when both planets merge into one and it creates this baby that is a combination of these planets. So instead of having Jupiter in the 4th house, it's actually a combination of Jupiter and Mars because they're conjunct. They're one energy. Jupiter rules over expansion, wealth, abundance, growth, excess, joy, happiness, things like that. Things like greed, just abundance, just an overflow of these things in life. Life's greatest joys. Mars is the planet of action, aggression, fighting, war, getting things done, the feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of being the best. So it's like you have this power surge of two planets literally conjoining together in the 4th house. So her environment, growing up, her family, her home life, her mental health, it was just hot wired. It was just good. And it rewarded her and it blessed her in a way. This can be seen because her brother Phineas actually recorded her songs. And I think he edited the videos for her, and that is family. And she has Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer rules over things like family and the home, and she has Jupiter in the 4th house. So these things are literally blessing her before she could even drive. Because keep in mind, on her astrocartography map, which I haven't brought up yet, she's actually also on a Sun-Mars line. She's on a Sun-DC line. DC relates to other people and the environment around you. And when Sun is on the DC, it typically means your environment is very supportive. People want to see you shine. People typically love you on Sun DC lines. Mars MC, her career is literally being jump-started. It's moving fast. There's no setbacks. There's no delays. It's a straight shot when Mars is on the MC because it's lighting up your 10th house. Billie Eilish actually has a Sagittarius midheaven. Sagittarius is ruled over by Jupiter. Billie Eilish is also a Sagittarius sun, and she's living on her sun line. So not only is she activating this Sun-Mars energy, she's activating multiple houses at the same time. She's activating her Sagittarius sun energy, she's activating her 4th house, and she's also activating her midheaven. So it's just so much going on at the same time. That's why things are probably really intense as she was growing up, and things just happened so fast here because of the intense benefic energy just literally like clawing at her at the same time. It's just lighting up so many areas in her life, so many houses in her chart that it honestly was probably very overwhelming. I say overwhelming because she was also on a Sun Chiron line. Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology. These areas on the planetary map, or the map of, your astrocartography, these areas are typically very intense and require lots of healing. And she's on a Chiron AC line, so this translates onto the body, the personality, the self-esteem, basically, and how she appears to others. And Chiron is, again, the wounded healer. If you're not submitting to the energies of Chiron, you will be challenged. And you can honestly see this in the media because when she was younger, her body was heavily attacked. She expressed some insecurities about that and some insecurities about the self. And this can be seen through astrocartography because Chiron, the wounded healer, was literally sitting on her first house of the body and appearance. So of course she faced these things. It's just a part of the story of the area that she chose. She didn't really choose, she was born on. I remember her body was just like a huge thing when I was like growing up and seeing her in the media. Like someone was always policing this girl's body and just attacking her or like over sexualizing her. It was just a lot of energy towards the body. And that can be one aspect of living underneath a Chiron ascendant line, because that area is being translated onto your body. The AC has to deal with the first house, the ascendant, the self. So Chiron was literally sitting in that area of her life and was literally lighting it up in her life. Back to her career, she literally also was living underneath a Uranus trine sextile MC line. And so let's take it back to the basics. Uranus rules over instability, up and down, chaos, rebellion, just things up and down, not very stable energy. However, trines and sextiles are basically when the energies are sort of helping you. It would be different if it were a square. A square would be the energies are fighting. So she has Uranus trine sextile, her MC, in this location. So the energy of independence, rebellion, being different, standing out, instability, up and down, just difference. All of that is helping her to fuel and jumpstart her career. Natally, she also has Sun sextile Uranus. She has Sun conjunct MC, Venus conjunct MC. So all of these planets are helping her career. The MC is the career, the 10th house. And she's living on a Venus MC line, a career line. So all of these planets that she has natally are helping her in this location because they are being activated for her. She was literally born on this line. She has a Sagittarius sun and a Sagittarius midheaven. Sagittarius rules over luck, abundance, expansiveness, excess, greed, just so much, right? It's the opposite of Saturn. It's the opposite of lack. It's abundance. It's just so much. And she's living, or she was born directly on this career line. Natally, she also has her sun in the 10th house, which is very popular with a lot of celebrities. So basically your sun is how you express yourself, where you feel most confident and alive in life. And when your sun is sitting in your 10th house, this means that you feel the most alive, the most creative, the most expressive when it comes to your career and your public image and your reputation. That just comes easily for you and to you. She also has Chiron in her 10th house. So Chiron, the wounded healer, sitting in her 10th house of career and reputation and fame and things like that. So she's dealing with lessons, and she'll probably be dealing with lessons and constantly transforming herself for the rest of her career life, at least. She also has Mercury in her 10th house. Mercury is fast moving. It rules over things that are quick. Also sort of similar to Mars, but Mercury is a very fast-moving planet. And it also rules over education, learning. Lots of rappers, lots of artists have lots of mercurial placements like Gemini or Virgo. But she has this in her 10th house, so Mercury is a part of her career. Singing, lyrics, things like that. Not to mention her Venus is in her 9th house with her Pluto in the 9th house. She's living on a Venus MC line and on a Pluto square, the ascendant aspect. Whether these energies are good or bad, it doesn't matter because they're both lighting up and activating her Venus and Pluto in the 9th house. And that rules over long distance travel, foreign travel, and also education, and she was homeschooled. I don't know the nature of her home life, but it was probably very intense because of the Pluto there. Something about learning was very intense. But with Venus there was also probably a lot of things to love about it. But again, whether those energies are good or bad, because they're in her 9th house, that means she's actually also living on a Venus in the 9th house line and a Pluto in the 9th house line. And those lines are setting her up to leave because the 9th house rules over long distance travel. Those lines are setting her up to leave that area. She's not going to stay there long because Pluto is death and rebirth. Venus is beauty, abundance. Well, not abundance, beauty and wealth. and finances and things like that. So those energies are setting her up to leave because the 9th house is the house of long distance travel and education. Also, what actually takes the cake, to be honest with you, is the fact that she's living on a Mars North Node combination line. North Node lines rules over fated events, and when you're living underneath a North Node line, it's like things are sort of aligning to push you in the direction that you're meant to go. So every line has a story in the world wherever you choose to live. But North Node line specifically, the lesson is you getting to your destiny. So these places in the world are going to guide you to where you're literally supposed to go. And it's a straight shot. There's no delays. It's literally like God, the universe, pushing you towards your destiny. And Mars is the planet of action. There are no delays or setbacks with Mars. It's just quick, fast moving. And so the energy of Mars moving with the North Node, it's like she's being jump-started like a car to where she's supposed to go in life. There's no delays or setbacks. The only malefics in this area that she was surrounded by was Chiron and the Pluto square the ascendant line, which isn't exactly terrible because it wasn't the dominant line that she was on. The dominant line that she was born on was the Venus MC, and that is highly auspicious, and her natal chart supports her midheaven and her career. A real malefic would probably be a Saturn, Pluto, or Uranus, Pluto, something crazy, or Chiron, Pluto, Chiron, Saturn, but she's not really surrounded by any of those malefics. And her chart highly supports the benefic, which would be the Venus MC line that she's on. So while she does have minor setbacks, it's nothing too terrible or too life-threatening because there's so much positive energy in that one specific area that supports her. Not to mention, she has her North Node sitting in her 4th house. And the North Node is destiny. Wherever the North Node is in your chart is the area in your life that you're just sort of fated to. It's just that type of energy in your life that's going to be a huge factor. And living on a North Node line only highlights that area in your chart. It literally highlights it. Like, for example, if you have North Node in the 7th house, it is your destiny to be in a partnership, a long-lasting partnership, and to grow. And marriage, partnerships, bondage, things like that are just huge themes in your life. In Billie's case, her North Node is actually in her 4th house, so it's lighting up her house of mental health, family, and the home. And she also has Jupiter there, so it's destined for her family to help her in some way when it comes to achieving abundance, all of life joys. Her family, aka her brother Phineas, essentially helped her, was her good luck charm, and in return, she received abundance through this. This is Jupiter working for her and the North Node working for her because she's living on a North Node line as well. This area specifically in the world is highlighting her 4th house North Node. Now, if she were to travel anywhere else and her North Node is like no longer being activated, that she's not living on any North Node line, then I'm not saying it will fade away, but that sort of support that the Jupiter and North Node is providing for her will kind of fade away a bit, and she'll have to sort of work on her own to sort of achieve that. However, if she ever has kids, since kids are ruled over by Cancer, 4th house, home life, or etc., then her kids could bring her abundance into her life permanently because children are ruled over by Cancer and the mother and things like that. So having kids could actually be a way for her to activate her 4th house Jupiter permanently. But if she were to leave and if she were to go to like another line that doesn't activate that part in her life, then she would lose that Jupiterian support unless she were to visit a Jupiter line. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Unfortunately, it got really long, so I had to split this video up again. So watch the video after this if you are interested in Ariana Grande's astrocartography and how she sort of got her claim to fame, all depending on where she was located in the world. I'll actually link the video down below, and if it isn't linked below, then it's coming soon and it will be out. Also, I am accepting readings. I will have my shop link down below. However, for each listing, I only have 25 slots per person. So once the slots are out, my readings are going to close, and I'm not going to be accepting them until fall or winter of this year and next year. If you aren't interested in readings and you just want to get a more practical approach to it and you just want to read something, I do have ebooks on my website that you can purchase, and I go over all of the astrocartography lines and everything and etc. if you would like more information on that. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video and liking it and commenting. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.